Welcome back, guys. In the last section, we rewrote this whole query here to put in our state, so we could pass the type of the Pokemon that we wanted to go. And as you might have noticed in the video, the API wasn't there, but this is another day, not for you, but for me. And yeah, the API is working again. I guess we fetched too many requests against the API yesterday. So let's see. The whole point about this was that we wanted to pass dynamically the type that we want to fetch. Then we made this through our fetch function. And now if I go here, I search for the type flying, and you can see that I will have a look into the request. There are now flying Pokemons generated, and we iterated over the names of the Pokemons. So this is a list of all flying Pokemons that we have there. And I will give it a try for another. Let's choose the poisony Pokemons. I will search for type. Here's our request. We can see it here, the type there, it's the route. And this is actually what was set together in the function. I will go back on the other screen. Here where you see this state type is pretty much exactly what you can see here, because the values of the dropdown now will be passed into the fetch. So here we get all the poison Pokemons, and now as we see, we have a complete list of poisony Pokemons. So pretty nice. Let's check where we stood still. Right here. So the last thing we did was that we wrote an li with a key and a class name. I put the bootstrap class card on it to make it look a little bit prettier. And then we went down this whole tree, this Pokemon tree, because here we have this Pokemon array, and here we have this Pokemon object, and we need the name of the object, because every Pokemon here of the Pokemon's array is one unique Pokemon. So we need to write it like this. Okay. The next thing I want us to do when we go back to the markup, to the mockup, I'm sorry, when we check our mockup, the next thing we want to achieve now is that when we click on a Pokemon name on a tile, then we get some more information. So we will now make this tile fetch a new request and get the information of the Pokemon. Poorly, or maybe it's okay, because otherwise the JSON would be quite big. The stats or the height and the weight of the Pokemon and the pictures of the Pokemon are not contained in this information, as we can see here. So what we need to do now against the API is we need to fetch one single Pokemon. I will do so as an example now. I will take the Bulbasaur, and if we go here, we can write like Pokemon / and we can provide a name here. So we submit this, and this is the JSON data we receive for the Bulbasaur. We will have a look at it a little bit later, at what is the structure of the data, but we will work only with some stats because it's only an example project. For example, let's take the weight out of it and the height. We are not interested in what level they learn and how they could evolve. We could bring this to the front, and if you are a very eager person, just do it, try it for yourself. But I think it's enough for now. And then we will bring the picture up. So yeah, this is what we do in the next section. To do so, let's have a look at our code. We need to somehow make this element here capable of fetching again. And this is what I want to do with you now. So if we have a look here again in the, we can see that all the LIs are here. And here we have this thing. And we want to apply additional function to each of these LIs. So to do so, we will write a new component. And yeah, this component will be called a single Pokemon. So I call it Pokemon just as a single file. It's also a JSX file. And I will boilerplate it very quick. Import React and component from React. Then we create a class with the name Pokemon, and we are extends component. So for now we only want to have, the render function. And inside this render function we will return, let's say we return a div here for now. Or let's be more precise. Let's provide an li here, and it just says, "Hello, I am the Pokemon component." Okay. So what we will do next is that we go back to our Pokemon list file, and I've forgotten something. I'm sorry. We also need to export the class, so we export default Pokemon. There's another way you can always do it, like here, but I suggest you not to do it. It depends on the testing later, but this is something for a later course. So we will export it here within an extra line. And then I go inside my Pokemon list, and here I will import my Pokemon from Pokemon. So this is there, and now just to test it, I will comment this line out, and here I will return an element of kind Pokemon. I will also provide the key, not to make an error, or let's just export, or let's just make use of this Pokemon tile. Let's see what is happening. So as you can see, I imported the component now as a JSX component, and we can simply return it here. So let's head to the browser and refresh it. So let's open the console and check for possible errors. And I will go and search for type fighting now. And as you can see here, hello, I'm the Pokemon component. So what actually, here we see the key error. I already told you that this will happen. And now we see as much as results we have in the state array of Pokemons, this often the Pokemon tile gets rendered, but the Pokemon tile is very stupid now because it only can say hello. So for the first thing, we are going to provide the key correctly here. Let's say it's counter. It's counter. It's okay. And then, for testing purposes, let's see count how many times the component will be iterated. To do so, as you see, I provided the props, the count props now to the Pokemon here. So on this component, we will have count available now, and I will make use of it just with a simple console log statement. So what I do is I will console log this props count. And now if we go back here, for the first thing, the key error should be gone, and then we should count up correctly. So what means this network request should contain 64 Pokemons in it. Let's check. I don't know whether we can see the amount here right now. Yeah, there are 63, but as you might have known, in computer science we start to begin count. Our counter here starts actually with the number of 1 because we are initializing it at 0, but then we are giving 1 up. So it's pretty much okay for us to have this amount here. So we will pass different props in the next section. I will see you then.